whatever is going on right now in the trend, you should go for it.
Now Instagram is like, oh my God, you have to make content, you have to show what you do as work.
Indian television is a crazy medium. I'm a businessman, I'm stressed, I'm going to talk, I'm your boss, I'm going to talk like this only.
What is that one of the toughest thing?
You are editing video, you're editing music, handling your social media, promoting, you're dancing, you're choreographing, you're creating, you're doing everything. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm burnt out.
We all have made mistakes in the past.
I think each one has to just get out of their shell, stop taking themselves too seriously, getting offended.
We are like, let's dance. This is gonna feed me. No, it doesn't.
At the end of the day, you're not buying a product, you're buying a story.
Good evening, guys. My name is Siddesh Naik, and you are here on our podcast, The Simple Tops. So, we had our dancehall Yaso event today, and we have Divya Easwaran from Bengaluru, and we have Sairaj Dhond from our very own state, Goa. We all know her. Divya is a very well-known dancer from India, and Sairaj Dhond is the one who has made it to Shark Tank, and he's an inspiration for all of us. As a curious kid, like a person who is inspired by looking at your, I want to know what was the time, like what was the first spark you all got into getting into the field where in what you all are today?
I have been dancing. Dancing has always been a part of me since I can remember. I can say 6 years old. It just naturally came to me. I was constantly watching TV, and that was, of course, my source of movement. No family background in dancing. I studied engineering. I did my biotechnology. It was during the third year of my engineering, precisely when I met with an accident. I was in the bed, and the questions being posed to me was, what is your plan after your engineering? And my head just, it did not even think twice. It was dancing. And the reason being, like I was dancing. My experience in dance was just anything and everything that was around. It was the people who had the same interest, and we would just create movements, and it didn't matter. Rhythm didn't matter. Movement, meaning, intention, nothing mattered. You know how to do 4 counts. I know how to do 4 counts. Put it. If it fits, it fits. And it was only, of course, I had training in Bharatanatyam, but that was more of, that's what my parents knew of.
Yeah.
And they wanted to encourage movement for me. But beyond that, I didn't know what to study with dance. And it was only in 2009 when I was introduced to a whole new world. And that's when I started studying street dances. When I learned that there's a study of culture, study of music, study of movement. And that changed everything. And since 2009, I don't think I've looked back. And street styles back then in India, we had 3 styles. All of us learned everything, and we continued learning multiple styles till today. So when I started dancing, I realized that there was so much more intention now that I can do something as a career with it, because I did have 1-2 examples in front of me where I saw someone take it up as a mainstream profession. Because I feel if I didn't have just an inkling of someone else doing it, I may not have chosen to take it, or even just dared to think of just trying it out, even before I know that may or may not work. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So 2009 it was for you.
2009. No, 2009 I started, but 2013 is when I decided I'm going to do this full time.
Sairaj, how it was for you?
Really nice try. Yes. So one thing in common, thank you for having me here firstly, is that I like dancing. I love dancing. So I can and this thing, so I'm a teetotaler, so I don't drink, but I can dance till 5 and 7 in the morning, you know. So I love dancing. I'm not a professional dancer like any of yours, but I just enjoy dancing. So yeah, my journey started a little differently. I was a lawyer by education. I studied law, 5 years of law. And while studying law, I always wanted to be a lawyer. So no one ever forced me. No one can force me to do something. I passed out from law college. I wanted to be India's best lawyer. Practiced for a year from morning till night, very dedicatedly. And then I realized that this is something I cannot do for the rest of my life. So I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I didn't want to do this.
Yeah.
So it was one day I just called it off. I said, it's okay. I'm not going to do this. I had a very stable practice. My uncle is one of Goa's top lawyers. I was supposed to be success. Everything was all in place, but I didn't want to do it. I was not happy doing it. So then came the time to do what next, you know. And the natural progression is I come from a family of business people. So I joined my family business, but again, I lasted there for exactly 6 months. And I'm talking about 2011, 12, somewhere there. Then I started my first venture. I did 3 other ventures before Wakao. Wakao was my fourth venture. The day I quit law, I just had one motive in my life, and that was to build a brand. Uh, build a brand, and which will be proudly called a Goan brand, made in India, and will go to the world. That was the thing, but I didn't know what the product would be. I was in search for that product, and that search took me from one venture to another to another. And then finally, the turning point, which you want to know, is one day I came across one article. When I was sitting, I finished my third venture. It was a real estate venture and made some money there. So I was looking at what next, and lockdown had happened. Everything had come to a standstill early 2020. And that's when I came across one article which said the new superfood of the world, jackfruit. And it was like a blow on my nose. I was like, jackfruit. Oh, like, it grows right in our backyard. It falls there, it rots, no one even looks at it. And suddenly the world, not even India, the world was calling it a superfood. So I started researching, went deeper into it. I realized that this is not jackfruit, it's a jackpot. And there's so much that could be done with it. This could be that product that I was looking for. It was a bet, it was a punt that I took. I started, and within 10 months, we were from idea to shelves. The product started, and then it went on. One thing led to another. And yeah, we are fortunate enough that we could scale it to a certain extent until now. We're just starting. There's a long way to go. But that was how it started.
So the Wakao food was not the first thing that you did.
No, it was, if you consider my legal practice, then it was the fifth thing.
Thing. Yeah.
So there's a long journey behind it, See, when you come on Indian television is a crazy medium.
Yeah.
You come in whatever form it is. But if you come there and you get enough screen time, it can change your life. And that's what happened with me. I was therefore, my pitch was around 18.5 minutes without an ad in between. With the ad, it was 25 minutes. So half of the entire one episode was my pitch. It was the second longest pitch of the season. And it went mad. My YouTube video that Sony uploaded has 4.5 million views. So overnight, life changed for us.
Okay.
And that's how it is. Sometimes luck also plays an important role in, but yeah, you need to be there at the right place.
But also, I think you have tried so many other things, and then
that's what I try to say. People think that this is like overnight success. It was like so fast. But no, there's a long journey. There was a 10-year journey before that. Yeah.
So Divya, we know that it's almost been more than a decade, if I am not wrong. You have been into dancing scene. You have been traveling all over India. You've also traveled out of India. What is that one fulfilling thing as a dancer? What you enjoy doing, and what is that one of the toughest thing being a dancer?
So I think what also pushed me to take this up, that first instinct that like pushed me to take this up as a career option, was I realized very early on that I loved teaching. So teaching, of course, for most of us, that becomes the first source of income as a dancer, because we don't know anything else and we feel like that's the only way to go about. But when I also started that way. But when I did enter, I felt like I had the knack to teach, and I was extremely patient as a person. And I channelized that patience into, like I knew how to customize solutions.
Yeah.
And I started realizing that I really enjoy. And if someone had a problem, I instantly want to be like, what is it? Tell me. I want to find a solution. Yeah. And that really helped me with teaching. And I felt like this is something I want to expand. So early on, I already knew what is the step I have to take to teaching. So the most fulfilling aspect of this has to be to make someone believe that you may think that you're not a dancer, but you just need to just give me that 2 minutes and I'll make you dance. And when they go back with the feeling of, oh my God, I can do that. And that's something that constantly pushed me, because I saw a lot of non-dancers come in and I said, just take a chance. And they stuck along for like 2 years and now they are dancing. And that just pushed me to keep doing. What was tough, which is still tough, is trends are changing. Every single month, every single day, especially with social media, you don't know what is the solution or what is here to sustain for long. So to keeping up with trends is, it is quite exhausting. But if you figure what is your niche, around what value system you work, I think you can still hold your ground and push forward. So that is one. Like the tough part is to constantly keep up with trends, because it can get, sometimes you feel like you're outdated.
Yeah.
But if you continue working, if you continue networking and talking to people across all ages, you will be able to keep up with it and still be able to like at least tailor it with time.
Correct.
And we work with a lot of students. So the class etiquettes are very different now. The commitment that people give today are very different, because everybody is doing at least 5 different things at one shot. Back then when we started, if dance was our class, dance was the only class, or maybe max to max music or sports. But today there's someone designing, there's someone doing music, they are dancing, they want to do theater, and parents want them to be an all-rounder. So that gets a lot on the person. So the commitment from their end is also lesser, which means we can't promise a growth for long unless you give that time. So there's a way you have to come with programs that can also essentially give them something that used to take like 3 years. Now in 3 months, you need to give them. But yeah, it's a constant learning, creating new programs, creating new ways of selling what you're doing, and also satisfy yourself.
Yeah. I think as the trend changes, I think you also need to be relatable to the new crowd.
100%.
Whoever is.
100%.
And that's the toughest
Yeah.
and that's the challenging part,
Yeah.
I feel.
And if you're happy doing it, there is growth.
Correct.
If not, you just have to accept saying, I don't think I can keep up with this, and be okay with it, and see what else I can do.
Okay. Coming back to Sairaj, so I know, of course, you have been doing your product very well right from the Shark Tank days. Now, just like how Divya said, you still need to be relevant in the current years. So how do you change the design of your product? How do you keep it creative at the same time, so that it sells?
One thing that any entrepreneur should believe and should have the best quality is to have your ears very close to the ground. You need to take feedback and criticism very constructively. You can't be averse to that. You need to grow like 5 layers of skin. You can't be too touchy. You can't get offended. You have to take everything, process it, see what's required, and then make changes. See, I work in the food industry. Food and taste is very subjective, right? What I may like, you may not like. What you may like, she may not like. So we always have to reach a median. Like even today, we had a consultant in when we were thinking of deciding a menu for a QSR, which we want to launch and all of those things. One thing which was constant is that the taste has to be very universal. It has to be acceptable to the larger audience. We can't go developing tastes for Nagpur separately, for Coimbatore separately, for Punjab separately. It has to be universal. So your feedback plays a big role. So you have to keep hearing कि कोई बोलेगा ये, कोई बोलेगा वो. So then you have to see, okay, what is the right balance? How do we come to that middle point? And that's how you change. So even if you have to introduce a new product, a lot of decisions are taken. In fact, most of them based on statistics, just based on numbers. Sometimes we have our own biases and you need to keep your biases aside. And that's one very important thing that I keep telling everyone. You need not do what you like. And what you like may not be the best business idea. If you want to build a great business, do what for what there's a need in the market, or what there's a demand, or what people want, not what you like. What you like is your personal choice.
Okay.
You may sometimes sell what you don't like also, but if everyone else is liking and it is buying, it's a great business idea. So I think that's very important. You need to be very pragmatic. Don't be too touchy. Don't be stuck on to something that you think you're obsessed over. Don't get obsessed over anything. Very important. You need to have that detachment. Very, very important. People use that very loosely and say that my business is my child, my baby. So I have a real baby of my own. He's now 6. And I know that my business is not my baby. My baby is my baby. So my business may be something that I'm really passionate about, that I've built with my blood and sweat and soul. But you have to be practical. Otherwise, you and your baby both are going to die. So you have to be very practical, very pragmatic, make changes, pivot when you think that's the right time to. I think that's important.
Divya, do you think it is the same thing when it comes to dance and art? Like, do you think this same concept can be applied to art, where whatever the demand is from the audience, whatever is going on right now in the trend, you should go for it?
No, I do agree that you need to understand the market, you need to understand the audience, because our industry is a service industry. So you are servicing people. And if you don't take note of what their choices are, then you won't be able to service them. But at the same time, if you are able to lay out saying this is what we offer, at the same time, what we offer is going to be consumable by anybody and everybody. You package it in such a way that it's, see, if today you know the kind of music that we dance to, say a dancehall track, that's not the kind of songs our parents are used to listening to. Majority of the audience are going to be non-dancers who are going to be the consuming audience. Now, a lot of them say, why are we dancing to Bollywood music? Why are we dancing to regional songs? But there's no harm in it, because there are dancehall rhythms even in our regional songs. There are hip hop beats even in our regional songs. What we need to understand is our audience understands our language, what we've been brought up with. We've taken that extra effort to go out and understand a culture which is outside, and we've made that extra effort to be like, I want to know more about it. But you can't force that on an audience that is consuming your content, unless they also make that effort or you guide them into that. So a majority of the audience is going to listen to or watch that they understand. So the language plays an important role. So if you present your movement and your techniques to a language that they understand, they're going to consume and they will appreciate, because now they understand the meaning behind it, even if they don't understand movement. If my parents sit to maybe watch today, they'd be like, wow, that's awesome, but I didn't understand anything. But if I do the same thing to maybe a Tamil song, they may understand because that's what they...
Correct.
So,
No, go on. Sorry.
So 100% you do need to tailor, but at the same time, if you know exactly how to use your techniques and your skill and learning and present it to a common audience, then even your extremely technical information can reach to them. Yes, there is going to be a difference in the numbers, but you will be able to work towards. You don't have to give up on.
So if I can add to this, so also what I said could be slightly misconstrued in the way that it's not that you go out then only do things that people want. Art is a completely different subject from what I am doing and what I am trying to do. You can't do something you're not comfortable doing. So art is that, like if your genre of dance is X, you cannot go and do a bhangra. If your genre is hip hop, suddenly you cannot go and do a bhangra. That's not what you want. So now what happens here is that if you have a niche and you really believe strongly that this niche can be carved, it will take much more longer. But for sure, if you're confident and you can put it out in the best way, and that's when feedback comes. You understand, okay, maybe this is too technical, let's make it a little more desi, this niche, and try and get it. So that's how you adjust. Okay, so now I did jackfruit. It was an innovation. No one had ever done it before. So that doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. I believe very strongly that this can go mainstream. Now, while taking it mainstream, we started a teriyaki. We started a barbecue. We started a butter jack. These were 3 ways we started. Today, we've discontinued the teriyaki and barbecue. We've added sausages. We've added a biryani. Because the market told us that this is not working in India. No one understands teriyaki. No one understands barbecue in that format. So butter jack went really well. So this is market feedback, and so within my genre of jackfruit, I'm still hearing what the audience is saying, and I'm doing something that is more acceptable. And that's how I'm breaking the barrier and entering mainstream. So my point is that whatever may be your niche also, because mine is a very niche, hers is a very niche, but at the end of the day, you have to build a business around it. Keeping that niche and having it as a hobby is a different thing. But if you want to really make it into a scalable business, then you have to find the mass sweet spot where you can scale it.
Okay, now if I have to ask, like for a person who wants to start from the scratch, like a beginner who wants to start and make his name big, and he wants to create a brand name like how you both have created, what should be their starting point?
So see, building a brand is the toughest thing in the world, okay? And I was warned by a lot of people not to even take that chance. It's very difficult. There are chances of 1:100, one brand surviving over 100, and there are big billionaire and multi-billion companies who have hordes of money to push into a brand, especially an FMCG or a brand which is there. Like hers is an art form. It sells on her name and her art and dance. Mine is a product, and there are millions of products which can sell. So it becomes even tougher. One thing that I think you have to strongly believe and has to be there is you need to be solving a problem. Now, how you're going to put all of this that I'm saying with art and dance is something that you'll need to figure out. Okay, I'm talking from my perspective. You have to figure out a problem. When today becoming an entrepreneur has become also a fashion statement. People think it's very fashionable, very cool. You can wear nice hoodies, t-shirts. You travel from here to there. Come, it's a screwed up thing. You are really stressed from morning till night. You're stressed, and no one can see that stress. No one knows that stress. You're the only one handling that stress. It's very tough. So be an entrepreneur for the right reasons first. So if you have a real problem that you're solving or a gap that you're filling, like for us, no one was doing jackfruit before. I really thought that there was a problem here. It's a great product, but no one's using it. Why? There were certain difficulties which we solved. So that's why I knew my motive. I knew what my motto is and why I'm doing it. Like for us, she would have seen a gap and should see that this art form needs to be pushed and there's a gap for it. So I'll do it. I'll fill that gap. That should be the first. So whatever business, whatever thing you want to start, be very clear that there's a gap in the market or there is a product which exists, but I could do it in a much better way. Then for all purpose, go in. Second is be very clear of who your target audience is, your target group. Just don't spray and pray. That's the easiest thing. Just spray everywhere. But no one's looking. It's pointless. You're wasting your time. So like when you were marketing for this show, you knew who were your target audience. You were not going and marketing with some senior citizen homes and all of that, right? You knew which was your catchment area. So be very clear of who are you targeting. Let that size be really small also in the start. No problem. Go start small. Go from one step to another, next step to another. But be very crystal clear who you want to sell to. That is the next biggest thing. And the final thing, I think once you have the plan in place, once you know who you're selling to, take baby steps, start building slowly. And branding is a very complicated process. It's not straightforward. Branding, if you ask me I don't know a lot of things. I hire some of the best consultants, some of the best people to do a lot of things, which I know I'm not good at. So as an entrepreneur, you need to know what you're good at, but with more importantly, you need to know what you're not good at. And for that, get the right people to do it. Don't bosh up everything by thinking I'll do everything. Let the right people do some things which are required. So branding is something that I kind of like, and I think I'm pretty decent at. Branding is simple. It is what you want your customer or your consumer to believe what you are. And if they believe it, then your branding is through. Like what perception I want of my brand, like what I want you to think about Wakao. If you are thinking that means my branding is on par, So it's simple. Branding is very clear, crystal clear. It's not marketing. It's a perception. It's a perception building process. Today, when you think of Wakao, what do you think of it? That is a brand building exercise we've been doing for the last 4 years. And it's not 1 day or 2 day thing. That is something that will go on. It's a journey. But like the first 2-3 things I said, I think they are important.
So when I started off, this was back in 2009. Like today, you know that as an individual, you can become a brand as an artist. But back then, we started off working with studios and we started off working with teams. So at that point, a brand was us as a group. Or we didn't know how do we go as an individual from there, because it meant that you be associated with a space. And then from there, you have yours that you continue building maybe through shows, through teaching, and then you're known as a crew. Cutting to today with social media, we realize that now there are so many opportunities that from that crew, you have one person who can really grow. You can have your own classes. Back then, it also used to be where I know a lot of studios. I was fortunate that I didn't work in a setup where if we were to work in one space, we were only bound by that. So I also had that liberty to go around and experience. But whereas most of it worked in a way where if you are working in one studio, you're bound by a contract. You have to be only within that. So you don't get to dance with other dancers. You don't get to exchange. And that really pushed me to also, so 3 things. One is, of course, I had to skill up. So to build my brand also meant I need to know what I'm teaching. So my knowledge was one. I needed to know what is the kind of audience that I'm catering to. The networking. So it was on ground networking. Today, you put out and you have thousands of people who get to know you overnight. But back then, we had to go and we had to meet people, we had to talk, we had to remember the names, contacts, and somehow hope that we meet again, have conversations, sell ourselves, pitch ourselves. So this is how it used to be back then. To today, if like literally your Instagram speaks about you.
Yeah.
Like the minute someone asks about you, the first thing they like, tell me their name. And you look at Instagram and you just get to know what they do and how they are even as a person just through one story. And you're like, I don't like this feeling. I maybe connect with this person, right? And so today, my shift also happened. So where now I am very, I know exactly what kind of content I want to put out. And my content also is very intentional. I am very lazy with content. I am telling you, but if you see mine, like if you sit and talk to me, I can tell you about my work. But I didn't come from an era of where we keep camera, we record, we instantly post. I come from hi-fi. Anyone knows hi-fi? Well, it was even before Orkut. Then Orkut came,
Oh,
and then Facebook, and then Instagram.
Messenger was.
Yahoo Messenger. I used it in. You would go to the parlors, and then you
Oh,
check if there are some strangers who message you, and then you chat.
Yeah.
yeah.
MSN Messenger. But Hi-Fi was the first time I had a profile. I'm like, ooh, it feels like something. And then Orkut was testimonials. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God, my friends are writing about me. And then you had Facebook and then Instagram.
That's it.
So now Instagram is like, oh my God, you have to make content, you have to show what you do as work. But on the other side, you want to just put content which is about you living life. So there's this constant battle of what am I supposed to put? Do I put only work or do I put like, I saw a nice sunset. Can I not post it? Because back then, 15 seconds, you're like, wow, what a beautiful sunset. Everybody's liking. So now Instagram for me, my page has become about work. I don't put a lot, but when I do choose to put, I know the process behind it has been very intentional and very fulfilling. Post which when I put, you can tell that it's like there's been like a lot of effort that's gone into it. It's just that it's not very frequent. So, but I've also realized the audience that I've collected, I don't have too many numbers also because I'm not very consistent. But the numbers that I've gained are extremely organic and I know they're constantly coming back on ground and off ground. So that way my responses are really nice and I'm kind of liking that because I know I've made real connections and these connections have stayed for long.
Yeah.
So branding it's a game that you have to figure out as long as it doesn't take away peace from you. And if you think that you cannot brand yourself, give it to somebody else who can help you do it because there are people who specialize in it. It can be an investment, but it is worth an investment. And I feel like everybody should, especially as artists, it's important to have a press kit because every time you send for work, if you want work, they need to see you with your professional work. And if you don't have that, you cannot blame them for not giving you work. So I think that's also very important.
I just want to ask this one thing, like we all have made mistakes in past. What were the top 2 or 3 mistakes that you think you have done in your past regarding your brand?
So I think mistakes keep happening every day. Yeah. So top 2-3 mistakes. One thing that like I said, a lot of us, and I learned this very early in life. Um, uh, a business owner or an entrepreneur has to be a storyteller. You have to be a storyteller. Because all your life, what are you doing? You're just telling stories. What am I doing? I'm just telling my story to everyone. I'm telling any customer that comes, I'm selling him the story. My investors, I'm selling them a story. My buyers, I'm selling them, or my distributors, my employees, people who work with us, I'm always constantly telling them stories of how you'll grow and how you need to be here with us. You need to believe your story, create a story, and be a great storyteller. That's the first thing. A lot of entrepreneurs shy away from that. You can't be shying away from telling your own story. And no one's born a speaker or a storyteller. Let me also say that today, if we both of us are here sitting here confidently and talking, there has been a past from where we've come and how we've learned this. I had a professor in school, in high secondary, who changed my life, and that for another day, that topic, because that's the story that I keep telling everyone, how I changed. But I think each one has to just get out of their shell, stop taking themselves too seriously, getting offended very easily in the drop of a hat. I mean, this one said that to me, I'm offended now. I won't talk to him. Get out of that zone. Just be comfortable. Once you're comfortable and confident, you can achieve a lot more things. So that is one mistake that we always do, that we get too touchy and too stuck within ourselves. Second thing that I've already addressed is just don't be too emotionally attached and uh, and like my child, my this, my that, all of that is bullshit. So an entrepreneur has to be on nimble feet, like how you dancers are, always moving, ready to move from year to year to year, because you never know. You're trying and experimenting every time. There are multiple channels. I keep saying this: an entrepreneur has unlimited options and very limited resources. So you have the that's where the judgment of an entrepreneur comes. How well do you choose those options with your limited resources? And not always they work. If they don't work, move quickly, pivot, go to the next. So be on nimble feet. Don't be stuck on to certain things. Don't say that no, this or not, nothing. And another thing that people keep asking me is about risks. Like how much of risk can you take, or you should take? Jump from a high building, but wear a parachute. Have a padding down. Don't kill yourself. Get injured, no problem. That's gonna happen. But be able to stand back up and move again. So that's another very important thing. I think everyone should take very calculated risks. Don't just go like a mad person and say, no, I'm obsessed, I'm going to build. No. First think, evaluate, and then take those decisions. That's very important. For me, I think things that I did wrong sometimes is, you want to do too many things at the same time. We are always bustling with ideas, right? We think this also, that also, that also, that also, and you end up doing too many things sometimes.
Yeah.
You have to sometimes just calm down, and I've been told this multiple times also, and I accept that we are always bustling with ideas. You have to sometimes let go of certain ideas, let go of certain things, and just focus on some things, and focus and try and go double down, triple down on that, and build something out of that. So I think these are a few learnings that I've had, and I think everyone should just think of this and concentrate on these things. Yeah.
Actually, same thing.
Yeah.
One was like I was always also. I'm sure a lot of y'all who are into art and dance, you realize that after a point, you are editing video, you're editing music, you're handling your social media, you're promoting, you're dancing, you're choreographing, you're creating, you're doing everything, and then you're like, oh my god, I'm burnt out. But that's always going to happen. That also helps you skill up in a lot of ways. Plus, it helps you develop a taste for yourself. But after a point, it's best that you start bifurcating this and giving it to people who are experts, because they will help you brand yourself better and it gets more productive. So let people handle their roles. When I used to play 10 different roles, and by the end of it, I'm like, I could have finished this in a day, which has taken me 10 days because I'm doing 10 different things for that one thing to go up. So that is one thing for sure. Just make sure that you have 1-2 other people around you. They are always in your circle. They may be just starting off, just give it, they'll get a hang of it and will start doing things for you. Second was, we constantly also have this, what do you say? Comparison. Because we see our peers and we're constantly comparing each other, like ourselves to another, saying, how is he able to do this? How did she post today? I also wanted to dance. You decided to practice, you decided to do something, you decided to put some work. But the minute you see someone else, you've completely shut off, you forgot your purpose, and the comparison really pulls you down and you don't end up doing yours also.
Yeah.
So constant comparison, trying to gain validation from people who you don't even know. That has also held me back. The one thing that I do is I have conversations with myself, and I have a very strong will that I have understood. But a lot of these conversations have taken time. I've procrastinated on many, many things to today where I've completely changed the way my mind works. I need to, I know my mind can go all over the place, so I sit down and make lists. I need to see checks. I need to see that these things are getting done. So my brain works on a very reward mechanism. So that's also helped me navigate better. Third is financial stability. Like when we step into this, we have no idea what we're going to do. We are like, let's dance. It's going to feed me. No, it doesn't. Right? And nobody tells us that start creating a safety net, start saving for yourself, or just have these basic plans in place, have health insurance. But these small things can really at least keep you sane for the seasons that you know you have no work. Right? So these few things, plus I've seen a lot of dancers who don't take injuries seriously. And for us, our body is money. We really have to make sure that if there is an injury, we attend to the injury and not be like, I will give my life to dancing. I will continue dancing till my leg breaks. It's not going to help. And I've seen a lot of them do that and they've stopped dancing. So I feel like if you be a lot more practical with these things, there is possibility of finding a way to make dance also as a career. It may not work for all. The reality is it's not going to work for all, but you will find a way to at least make the effort at least rewarding to some extent.
So I have a quick kind of a rapid fire thing.
Hmm.
Okay, let's just quickly have that. Now, what is that one skill every artist should learn from a businessman?
From
What
a
is-
business
From a businessman.
So rapid fire, my brain's not rapid.
And the same question goes to you also. What is the one skill a businessman
Art from an artist.
from an artist?
Grace.
Whoa.
Oh, nice.
Hands down.
I feel like
Yeah.
strategy.
Strategy.
Yeah.
A lot of business people are not graceful.
Graceful
whatever.
in terms of presenting.
So, it's just graceful, yeah, in accepting compliments, in accepting defeat, even the way you dress,
Even
sometimes
humility.
even the way you walk, you talk. It's just how you behave, It has to be graceful.
Yeah, even
I-
like arrogance.
I don't like that. I don't think
Arrogance.
I don't think it's cool to be I'm a businessman, I'm stressed, I'm gonna talk, I'm your boss, I'm gonna talk like this only. Hey, what's up, Neha? You can always be nice and graceful in things you do. So I think that's very important. Because an artist will always have poise and will have that grace when you're presenting, when you're talking. I think business people consider my grace.
Observation.
True. And
That
when you
was
said
just-
strategy, like what is that thing? Like what exactly do you?
Like strategically, like say market study, because these things we don't instantly learn. Like study your market and then strategize as to if you want to sell a program, if you want to build a program, then like sometimes as dancers, they're like, let's just put the program. But then you see like nobody has signed up and you're like, the blame goes on. People keep asking me, but they don't come. But that's not their fault, right? Like you need to figure how have you market? Have you reached out to people? Do they even know that you exist? B, do they know what you're offering? How is it going to benefit? So do small experiments. You may have 3 people, but do an experiment with the 3 people and see how the program is working with the 3. Use that to promote. So to strategically build on your audience is something rather than being like, I'm putting my classes, I'm going for a workshop, but nobody shows up. I was going to say something, but yeah.
So if I can just add to this, because this is an observation that I've seen in the last few years. Today, the line between the startup and the founder is blurring. So you're identified, a lot of times the founder is identified as the startup. So like I'm Sairaj and Wakao are almost becoming one. So I'm called Mr. Wakao, this, that. People identify me with the brand. So even today, if you see any brand or hear of any startup or a brand, you always want to see who are the people behind the brand. And the founders are today becoming like celebrities, they're talking. So at the end of the day, you're not buying a product. You're buying a story. You're buying someone's vision, someone's idea. And that's the person. So the person behind the brand is taking great prominence today. And if you can portray that in the right way, I'm not saying put up an act.
Yeah.
I'm not saying do something which is not you, but just make yourself a little better and put out the best version of you.
Yeah.
That will always help your brand. People will associate with you. They'll like you. They'll buy your product. If they don't like you, they'll say, screw this product. Also, if they like the product, a lot of times, if you don't like the person, say, I'm not going to go there. If you go to a restaurant, the food may be superb, but the service is pathetic, or you don't like the owner, he's very nasty. You say, screw that food. I'll go somewhere else. Also, if I like the food. So it's very important.
I've done that.
I agree to this even with like dance.
Yeah.
I keep saying this, like, make sure you give a class, make sure you make your presence felt in a way where if someone is signing up, they're signing up for you teaching, not signing up for the subject you're teaching. Like the subject can be, say, Siddesh is giving dancehall. Say an ex-person is also giving dancehall. Now dancehall is dancehall. So someone can enter saying, I'm just going for a dancehall class. But you create a value in such a way that I want to go for Siddesh's class irrespective of what he's teaching. Because what you instill in them beyond the subject is what they're going to take back. So that's the brand that you create where you're actually giving a part of you to them. And they'll always remember and come back to that no matter how many trends change. So that is something I strongly see working.
Easy.
So rapid fire is turning into a long fire. A long
Quickly.
range fire.
Okay. A song that describes your work ethic. Well,
I have multiple songs, but one song right now which is my favorite for any entrepreneur. It's still you have to hear it. You have to hear it. It's called Sinbad the Sailor from Rock. From Rock. You know, I never heard it from that point of view. When a mentor friend of mine, his name is Kavin Kapode, he said, you know what, Sai, he said, hear this song. This is the life journey of every entrepreneur. Yeah, I'd heard that song a million times. But then on my way back home from his office where so he meets me. So also the another thing, you need to have these people who just grill you and take your case every time. You are always on cloud nine, people talking good about you. Suddenly someone will burst that bubble and bring you to ground zero. So with him, after a lot of badgering, I was going back home and I heard this song, Sinbad the Sailor, ek jahaz mein jab chala. So you go back, hear that song. Every bloody line just resonates with you and you say, dude, this is my life. ढूंढ रहा था एक नई दुनिया का पता मेरे यार. So I think that's my song. But then every inspirational song I hear also, I feel like, okay, then मैं परिंदा मुझे आसमां बनना है. That one, another one. A lot of songs, yeah, a lot of songs. I'm a little dramatic person also. I like all of this.
do you have a song?
No.
Now you hear this song. Next time you say this song. Yeah. Next time say this is the song.
This is my song.
Okay.
I heard it from from Goa, he said, and then I also thought.
Okay. This is the last one. One thing you wish more people understood about your field.
Okay. I keep having conversations about this to a lot of people. We as artists, we invest ourselves so much, not just physically, but especially when we create pieces, we get so emotionally attached that we are extremely vulnerable people. So for us, we go through extremes of emotions every single day. It's just that people don't realize that. And because there's so, especially I know, like when I create, I want to create with an emotion. So if I'm feeling, like today you say, I want to have a workshop with you tomorrow. And previously, my choice of songs would be based on, okay, what can I make work for them? But with time, it became about, let me see where I am at mentally. If I'm feeling happy today and I need to make a choice of the song, let me pick that. And then I know my creation is going to be extremely genuine and there'll be a beauty of a product that comes out than me having to forcefully create something.
Correct.
So yeah, like art really makes you emotional so much that sometimes you're like, I don't want to feel so much also. I just want to feel known for some time.
So I think in general, not my field as such, but just as entrepreneurs, most of us also may have done this. It's very easy to give a negative review or to go and write in public something bad and say, I hated the product. It was so pathetic. And, a lot of effort, years of effort, a lot of things go into it. And a lot of times, as an entrepreneur, I would really appreciate someone, and I've done that. People who send an email to us or just message us or call us and say, I didn't like your product. I want either a refund or you give me something. I'm more than happy. I apologize. I say, okay, I can't please 100% of the people, right? There will be a few people, a set of people who will not like my product, and I'm okay with that. But just look at the process that has gone behind it, the effort that has gone to build a brand. It's so easy to just diminish or just break a legacy or a brand that you've tried to build by putting a few bad comments. And it's very easy. We don't take that effort to go and write a nice review if we've liked something. We just say, okay, it was good, yeah, and it'll pass. But if the smallest of thing, you get a chance to write a bad review, you'll want to jump onto it and without even knowing me personally or knowing the brand personally, you can rubbish the brand. So I think that I really hope that people become a little more human and understand that there's a lot of effort, there's a big team, there are real people putting in day and night of work into this. Maybe you've not liked it, fair enough. That's your choice. That's your opinion. You can write back to them now. If then they've very rudely replied to you, have been obnoxious with you, then you are within your right to do that. But give them that chance. That's something that I always feel for. And so I still remember, there was once, I got up one morning and I saw
suddenly there were a flood of messages on Facebook, and one guy just, and this is a fraud company, and this was in the starting days. Yeah, this is a fraud company. They have not given my parcel. They have cancelled or this, that. I've paid money. And so I immediately clicked a screenshot, send it to the team. I'm sorry, I'm taking a little longer.
Yeah, no,
but I'm
no,
taking-
it's
I mean,
fine.
because this is a real life example. We sent it to the team. So what's wrong with this order? Why is this order not gone? So they checked in the back end and they saw that his email ID is wrong. His phone number was wrong. All the mails are bouncing back. There was no way of getting in connections, touch with him. We tried doing that. So I replied to him personally, and it turned out that he was a Rotarian. I found out from somewhere. Okay, he was a Rotarian. So I gave him a background. I said, my dad is a DG. We really built this with a lot of effort, and we found out. We did a research. This is what we found out. Your thing was not available. Our products are ready. We want to send it to you, but it's not going. What is our mistake? And that guy got so embarrassed. He apologized. This, that, pulled down that post. And but my point is, he could have just like written to us or just asked us, and we would have got back. But it was so easy to say that this company is a fraud company. Now, it's just random, but it can bring down a company. So I just hope that, and I would pray that people get a little more patient, little more understanding. They understand that everyone's putting in an effort. So always, my wife also, when we go sometimes, they complain for the food and they in the restaurant. So relax. It could be a bad day. It could be a bad day. They put up so much, they spend so much money, they're putting in effort. The boys are running around. You can see that. Give them the opportunity. Don't rubbish them. You didn't like the food, fine. Go back, give him the feedback. Don't make an issue. Don't make a scene here. Don't write a review.
Okay.
That's what I feel. Yeah.
There's so much that at least I'm taking back, and I'm sure all of us are taking back from today's interview. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so